What's good with it? It's your boy, Simon Phoenix. This is Shots Fired. What up, what up, what up? So as we slide into another fun-filled, action-packed Sunday night rant, unfortunately, it had to be redone. You know how I feel about my PC. So I ain't even going to go into it. You have listened to the show before. You know how I feel about my PC. Let's just say that's the issue. Moving on. So we have a full docket today. Now, there has been several things that have been going on the internet and in the news. So I had got a couple emails that asked me to discuss some of these things. Now, as I try to preference before every show, now I am not a professional. I do not know it all, nor do I always have the correct answer. This is a man's personal opinion. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. 50-50. So, now that we have those things out of the way, let's proceed into the emails and topics you guys requested. So, and they're everywhere. So this is not going to be like a rant that makes a lot of sense. But I did say I was going to answer some of these emails and topics that people have sent me in my inbox, email, so on and so forth. So, first thing I got, and probably the most out of the way or weird comment is, yo, Simon Phoenix, what do you think about the increased amount of beta males pretending to be alpha males out here saving these hoes? I'm always in shock that y'all ask me this kind of crap. I am. I'm more in shock by it because I also feel like y'all be trying to set me up for the okie doke. Y'all be wanting to see me struggle. I'm entertained by that, right? But I try to do my best to give you what you're asking for. So, as I think about it, I'm like, look, man, that's something that beta males have been doing forever, right? There's always a guy that you know who will scream to the top of his lungs how much he is a boss, how much he is a pimp, how many hoes he got. But in reality, when you listen to what he's saying, you're really a cash cow beta male. It's easy to see all your conversations revolve around you low-key tricking. You got that hot $40 for him, son. You got that hot $40 for him. You are always there. White knight. You come to the rescue of any of their arguments and points. Oh, yeah, girl, you know, they be hating. You put out lies based on the fact that, you know, women like that kind of shit. Oh, yeah, girl. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch Kids for a Girl while she went to school. I just want to see you succeed. Ass individuals, right? They exist. They're out here. And, you know, when it comes to saving them, hey, you know, we can start singing, don't save them. She don't want to be saved. And I'm a firm believer in that. It's hard for me to believe in saving people who are doing detrimental things to themselves, right? Like if you set yourself up for this kind of behavior, then this is what you're going to get. It is what it is. But I find it funny that it be so many dudes who will be willing to white knight, who will be willing to kiss ass, who will do whatever it takes to look good in the eyes of the opposite sex. Now, in reality, I'm going to say something that a lot of women might not know, but it is really, really hard to get sex. They say that the in between group of people, right? The majority of us, not the top percent, not the people that are dead broke, super poor, but those, you're living in the medium, you're in the middle of life. Those men out there are having an extremely hard time getting sex. And when people ask why, because they try to make those guys into incels, they try to turn those guys into 100% lame-os, busters, cornballs, whatever you want to call it. But in reality, that group of men isn't having as much sex because women are filtering them out. Women see that these men have less resources. So women are chasing after the men with higher resources. And who are those men? A lot of times when you talk to a group of women, the men they're trying to date is the one percenters. And anybody who's done any research will tell you that group is very, very small. And if you have a lot of people trying to get to that group, then you have a bottleneck situation. It ain't going to be enough men to hand out at that level. Unfortunately, for a lot of women, they don't realize that there's not enough men to hand out if you didn't have preferences. If you didn't have this is what I want. It's not enough men if you just said, well, just bring me a man. It should have a penis and a head and 10 toes and 10 fingers. Walk and talk. That's all I'm asking. Still ain't enough of them ladies to go around. So, dudes like me sit back and say, yeah, it's a lot of guys that's not having sex. And because they're not, then they're willing to do more to get the sex. They're willing to simp. And for those of you who don't know what a simp is or simping is basically a word that was made up to be the opposite of a pimp. That means that you're the guy who is like, oh yeah, I'm going to pay all the bills. I know you're not having sex with me, but I'm still going to pay all your bills. I know that you really don't like me. You about to go and kick it with Dante around the block, but I still want to help. And women love these guys. They're their favorite dudes. You know what I'm saying? Women will let you know that they love a trick. One of their favorite people. So tricking ain't never going to die. It just ain't. It ain't going nowhere. It's always going to be somebody that's not getting access to sex. And it's always going to be some woman who's going to make a profit off of that. It just is what it is. Like I said before, I'm just more giggly, more laughy, more that's funny shit to watch some people get on the interweb, get on social media and present themselves like they're a boss when in actuality you're the king of simps. That is more funny to me. I like to listen to them talk their shit and in the same breath tell you how much they're simp. It is the best. There's nothing better than someone being like, yeah, I keep the bras. I got women all over the place. Let me tell y'all. So I went over her house and then I brought a fifth of vodka. Stopped at the smoke man house, got a big bag, and then went over there and sat with her and her 5 kids. That's what y'all do. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Damn, bro, you just over there paying all. Yeah, man, I'm paying the bills. She got like 4 men. Y'all know. You got to pay to play, young fella. That's what they say. Crazy stuff like that. So, that's just my opinion. I think it's always going to be somebody who's going to pay to play. I think that women have an idea that because they know sexually promiscuous women, that they believe that other women are just handing out sex like it's candy. But they're not. It's not happening. It's not happening. But, everybody has their thing. So, and as people, we are here to respect them. So we're going to do that. But, like I always say, y'all think pimping ain't hit dead and y'all scared to get ahead. Well, it's tricking. It's tricking. They always tricking. So let's get off into the next crazy thing that someone sent me to discuss, to chop it up about. Like I said, half of the time I'll be in shock that y'all be trying to put me on the hot seat with these crazy things. So the next one was, hey, Simon Phoenix, why is it that no one can stay on topic within an argument? Well, I mean, depends on who you're talking about, right? You got some people who they just want to make an argument. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care about the points. They don't care about staying on topic. They don't give a damn. They are here to argue. That's what they came for. They came to be argumentative. Not because they had some insight, not because they had some forethought in the conversation. They just wanted to argue. That's all they came to do. Now, some people who do that, that intention is horrible. Some people who do that, hey, they just like to kick the show. They like to see the fire start. They like to watch y'all squirm. That's what their thing is about. How do I know this? Well, I participate in a lot of Facebook conversations. I start shit sometimes just to see what people are going to say. Because on my end of the street, I don't really care how you feel. And when you get to where I am, where you say, I don't really care how they feel. I'm not into feelings. I'm into factual, actual. I will insult you just to see if you can hold your ground. Will you stand in firm footing, or will you just wild out because I said something dirtbaggy and you couldn't take it? Because within a conversation, if you're going to be discussing something, you need to stay on track. And you shouldn't allow your feelings to get involved. But, we're humans. Feelings is part of humanity. And there are some of us who are weak to our personal feelings. Or we think our feelings is facts when they're really just opinions. So, know how I go. Everybody has had one of those conversations where you are arguing something that is easy to stay on point, but they should be able to focus. You arguing about, you believe that Isaiah Thomas is the greatest point guard ever, and all of a sudden they start talking about LeBron James, and you're like, he ain't even a point guard. What are you talking about? I'm just saying. You like, saying what? Please inform me. What are you saying? Because I'm having a discussion about why I think Zeke is the greatest point guard in the game, and you bring up LeBron James for what reason, sir? We talking about a 6'8" small forward / power forward. How does that even equate to me having a conversation about a 6'6" point guard? What? But this is how people will do. Then if you're talking about the conversation of between men and women, that normally is a more of a, I try really hard not to throw women under the bus. That sometimes the women move the goalposts, not knowing that they're moving the goalposts. Some women are doing it on purpose, obviously, but some women don't know. They're focused on their feelings, and you're not accommodating that, so they wind up subconsciously moving the goalpost. Now, what do we mean by moving a goalpost? That's just when someone sets a groundwork for whatever the conversation or argument may be, and then someone changes it within the conversation to try to prove their point, which is a lot of times is unfair. Can't change the goal. How can I shoot at it? Point. So, there's a lot of that going on. I would say personally, you just stay on topic and then you be a dirtbag and you point it out. If you need references to how to be a dirtbag and point out when someone is doing stuff that has nothing to do with what we're doing, go and look up Jadakiss performance when we got to watch the verses and he kept screaming at the TV, "These niggas is rapping over the beat and the words, particularly the words. Wait, and Cameron can't freestyle." You want somebody to point something out, that gangster, that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Just turn and look at the camera and hit them with the truth. Hey, you ain't nowhere near on point. You ain't been on topic the whole conversation. We talking about the greatest running back ever. You talking about if we gonna get a COVID shot. Bro. Go sit over there because you ain't on what we on. All right, let's slide out for a quick second. Give our sponsors chance to, feel like they paid their money in a good place, right? So let's get to our sponsors. Then we'll come back and we'll get into the crazier two things that were brought up to me. And it's going to be deep. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Stock the bar vodka made right here in Michigan. Distilled from Michigan red winter wheat. The red winter wheat provides this drink with one of the smoothest flavors known to man. Stock the bar vodka, premium quality. Our motto is smooth taste with a purpose. And now, the official sponsor of Shots Fired Podcast. Stock the bar vodka. Pour up a glass. Drink with a purpose.
Brought to you by Mindbender Incorporated in association with Ashy Radio.
Hey! Remember back in the days when you used to jump on the dance floor when you heard a groove like this, but your body just won't let you do it any longer? Well, hey, I got the situation set for you, baby. What you need to do is get with Earl's Aspirin Cream. That's right, Earl's Aspirin Cream. Earl's Aspirin Cream is made from the finest ingredients in America. That's right, here in America, baby. And anyway, Earl's Aspirin Cream is good for those hurting knees, that bad back, those elbows, and those shoulders. And if you don't want to take it from me, then go ahead and listen to one of Earl's happy customers.
Let me tell you, get yourself some Earl's Aspirin Cream, baby. I had a fracture, fucked up hip. I was sitting there in a nursing home of all places. I sat there, I was up and down that nursing home after I sat there and took some Earl's Aspirin Cream. And I ain't no nurse, baby. Earl's Aspirin Cream gave me that marathon strength.
That's right, Earl's Aspirin Cream. Side effects may include bigger balls, increased sex drive, harder erection, larger semen release, growth of facial hair, slide while you're walking, and a strong pullout game. That's right, baby. Earl's Aspirin Cream, here to help you get your groove back.
Yeah, you know what it is. Shots Fired Podcast popping.
Welcome back to Shots Fired with Simon Phoenix.
So now let's slide off into our last couple of topics for the evening. They're going to be kind of short and sweet, at least one of them. And the other one I'll dive in depth a little deeper with. So the first one is anybody who's familiar with what we are calling the manosphere, red pill content, people who are watching guys like Kevin Samuels, O'Shea Duke Jackson, MTR, aka Mediocre Tutorials and Review, then you have become what we like to consider red pill. That in itself is one of those things where you're either on board or you're not. Red pill is basically men saying, you know what, look, I'm not going to go for a lot of the crap that women are dishing out currently in society. So within that space, you have two gentlemen, Fresh and Fit. They have a podcast that is also on YouTube, and they stream live every day. They bring in a large group of young ladies, sometimes from the adult industry, sometimes just models or bottle girls, regular chicks, so on and so forth. So Fresh and Fit had a problem with how Abin preach to YouTube guys who have been doing their thing since the early 2012, maybe somewhere around there. And they normally do reaction videos. And if you don't know what a reaction video it is just they will show a video clip and then a person will discuss the clip with us, the audience. So Abba and Preach were on Fresh and Fit. They had a conversation, and there was a conversation brought up about basically pay to play. So what is pay to play? That means men who are paying women for sex in some form. Now, me personally, I like to break that down into two segments because I believe that a lot of men will try to make paying for access to women all one thing. And then there are men like me who believe that that is not a true idea, right? So what we're talking about is, on one hand, you could be a man and you could take a woman out on a date. You can buy her a steak dinner. You can be the guy who bought roses. You could take her to a movie, get the popcorn. You get party favors. If you don't know, for me, party favors are alcohol and other things consumed to have fun, such as smoking weed, edibles, so on and so forth, right? Well, the ideology behind this is very simple for a lot of dudes. You are still paying to play. Then there are men that are like me that's like, no, that is part of how the game is set up. Henceforth, that is not the same thing. We are talking about just straight monetary gain, meaning someone gave your ass cash to have sex with you, right? So Fresh and Fit were having the conversation from my point of view, saying, yo, if you are a man and you are paying women to have sex with you, they will not respect you. You will sooner or later grow to dislike women and lose your respect for them. It is bad all the way around. Abba Preach took the viewpoint of saying, no, it's pretty much all the same. If you pay for a movie, you might as well pay for the ass. That was the discussion. Well, a few months go by, and Abba and Preach decide to have a video where they seem to be more of a hit piece than anything against Fresh and Fit, discussing that Myron is on, and Myron is fit for those of you who don't know, that Myron is on one of the sites that is seeking arrangements, right? And Myron has talked about this a few times on the show, saying that he uses it to date. We don't know if he paying them or not. Got to go by what he said at face value. He's already discussed it and said, hey, I use this to date because I can find women who know how to deal with men who are in the higher financial echelons. Okay, bro, that's what you say. I'll take you at face value. But Myron's argument and beef and his anger was really, really, really prevalent. And it was all based on the fact that he felt like y'all did this for clout. Now, since that incident has happened, several people have come out against Fresh and Fit, accusing them of everything from using their platform to have sex with women, to being abusive, to just being flat out jerks and stealing other people's ideas and things of that nature. Then recently, during one of their live shows, they had some gentlemen show up for beef. And it looked bad. Like, it looked bad. You know, dude showed up at the door. They was looking real gangster, real thuggish. Looked like it was about to go down. Myron's explaining to him like, yo, you're on camera. You know what I'm saying? You're already breaking the law. You're doing too much as it is, bro. You might want to chill. And the dude's like, whatever. We're here for Abba and Preach. You ain't got to worry about these dudes no more. They some lames. So that's kind of where we are right now at this moment of this progression story. Now, for me, I look at both sides, and I will say that what Myron did while he was in his anger state, when he allowed his feelings to take over, should have never said nothing about Preacher's wife. Should have never called that lady out her name. And for information purposes, he called her a beluga whale. Me personally, I'd have just took it as jokes. People cap every day. But I do understand it is his wife, so I can understand his anger. Now, on the other end, I think that it was in poor taste for Fresh to be like, we can have a boxing match. Definitely everyone was in their feelings because you didn't even know that Preach was former military, former boxer, former bouncer. supposedly done a little MMA, might not be the right guy to tell to meet you in the middle of the street. Just my opinion. But they were wrong. And once they figured out how wrong they were, they tried to apologize. Now, on the other end, I believe that, yes, Alvin Preach, you were wrong. I do believe that you putting that video out did come out as a hit piece. I don't think you did it on purpose, but I do think it appears to be a hit piece. It looks like you're trying to shit on them. Myron does make some very good points of saying, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? We are hot and popping. You came for us, and we think you came for us based on the fact that we are hot and popping. I do believe that some of that was in there. I do. I think it would be cap for someone to tell me that some of your reason why you did this was not wrapped in the fact that they were worth attacking. You have their numbers. It was obvious you had their numbers and how to get in contact with them. You could have just scheduled another show and brung up your points, which would have been good business for everybody. But that's not what happened. What happened was this turned into the show of everybody ain't shit. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that on one hand, you have Myron saying things that he shouldn't. On the other end, you have Alvin Preach continually attacking, dropping little mini videos with this beef. And I don't see this ending well. What I think is going to happen is I think Fresh and Fit are going to take a huge hit. They've already been getting hit in their numbers. They lost something like 10,000 subscribers based off their beef with Alvin Preach. And I think they're going to continue to take an L. I think the L that they're going to take is more based on the fact that their platform, to me, seem to be built a lot based on Red Pill as its center content. But because they do a lot of collabos, they were able to grow faster based off the fact that they were bringing in people who already had huge followings who had a similar mindset. And anytime that you bring on people who like what you're already about, you're going to siphon off some of their fans. You're going to get to share some of that group. And I think that's what happened with them in their growth. Unfortunately, it is part of why they're going to go down as well, because some of those people weren't really their fans. They were just fans of the content. So they were watching all of what we consider red pill content as part of their daily consumption. So they're watching MTR, they're watching O'Shea Duke Jazz, they're watching Kevin Samuels, they're watching Fresh and Fit. Based on all of those things are in the same realm. Each person may handle it a little different, but it is still in the same realm of information, right? And so I think that's why a lot of those people jump ship to say, you know what, y'all look like some herbs, y'all look like some cornballs, y'all look like some lanes in this moment. I'm just not gonna watch this content. And I think that's what happened to them. How do I believe this is going to be settled? I think it's just going to finally die down and disappear, for lack of any more information that has came out recently. It hasn't died down yet. Just last night, MTR did a live talking about this situation, and he wasn't even going to discuss it. And I said I wasn't going to discuss it because, I mean, you know, no need for me to give my personal opinion, but because someone asked me to, and I try to, you know, give you guys what you are asking for, this is why we're here now. Because I wasn't going to touch it either, based off the fact that I thought it all was corny. I thought it was corny that Myron got into his feelings. I thought it was corny that Alvin Preach, once they had seen the victory that Myron and Fresh decided that they were going to apologize, that was the win. And you kept going. And then you did stuff like, oh, they bought a gun. They live in Miami. They have crazy people on their show all the time. They wind up putting girls out. I don't really think that makes you a coward because you went and bought a firearm, especially after they had two guys show up at their house during a show talking tough. I think buying a firearm is probably the smartest thing either one of them did. And now they need to exercise their Second Amendment right fully. I think they should probably be carrying on their show at all times, because the cameras are going to allow a certain amount of protection, but the firearm is going to give you a secondary level of protection because people going to know you're not for them games. And because where they live has now become more public access, that probably would be a good idea. Just me. But it just looks like Abram Preach don't really know how to take a victory correctly. Just my opinion. Like I said, just my opinion. You know me. I try to tell y'all all the time, I don't know shit. Just give my opinion. So now let's get into the last thing for the Sunday night rant. And by God, it's a doozy. So recently, our Olympic hopeful, Mrs. Richardson, got to participate in one of the major track and field events. At this event, you had the top 3 medalists from Jamaica in the event. So this was, for a lot of people, her chance for redemption. This was her chance to prove the naysayers wrong. If you don't know, Miss Richardson was Olympic hopeful. She wound up testing positive for marijuana. She could not participate in the Olympics. There was a large outroar by a lot of celebrities and people within Black America asking that she get a pass. The pass did not go through. She had to take her punishment. During her time where she was being punished, she had a lot of moments where she was on Instagram, Facebook, social media, talking slick. She has a lot of detractors. It had been heavy. So, what happened when she came to this track meet, Simon? Well, what happened was she got in the track meet, and it was the event that she is supposed to be the best at, which is the 100-yard dash. And out of the 9 participants, she wind up being dead last. So, you know, I mean, for a lot of individuals who watch this kind of stuff, they felt like you laid a dud. Now, do I feel the same way? Yeah, you laid a dud. I've read several Facebook conversations based on her, what happened and how people feel about it. And what we've come to notice is a couple things that I find to be funny. So I'm going to bring some of those up to prove some of my points. So number one, we have a lot of people who are like, yo, she's young. I'm going to tell y'all now, stop using age to protect people. She's not young. She's 21. She's an adult. You had a lot of people be like, well, she's still grieving. Well, she could have took that track meet off. She could have said, you know what? I'm going to take some time. We have recently seen one of the greatest gymnasts in the world say that to us. Hey, yo, I need a moment. I need some time to get my mind together. I'm not where I should be. So therefore, I need to get myself together. She could have did that. She didn't. But what she did do, and a lot of people pointed this out, what you did do was you came in last. You laid that egg. But the thing that was more interesting to people like me was what you said immediately after the track meet. So you get done with it and NBC runs up on you. Yo, what's going on? How you feel? And you go on to go and have a rant about, yo, I'm not done for all my naysayers. I'm going to be back. This is what it is. I'm the 6th fastest person ever. So you're going to see a lot of me. I ain't going nowhere. And some of y'all was like, oh, that's perfectly fine. While some other of you were like, why are you talking? You lost. You probably should be shutting your face right now. You should probably be being humble, but that ain't what we got. Now, some people are like, oh, yo, athletes are cocky. They are. I mean, I come from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have the cockiest boxer ever to exist, some people would say, in Floyd Mayweather. But using Floyd as an example, Floyd ain't lost. Let me say that again. Using Floyd as an example, Floyd ain't lost. So basically, Floyd can come out and tell people he's the greatest of all time, all Floyd want to. His statistics back it up. Let me say that part again, too. His statistics back it up. And there's plenty of people on the planet who hate Floyd's guts based off the fact that he talks shit. But when you are in athletics, you respect the guy who talks shit and backs it up. It is the person who does not back it up you have no respect for. It is the person who talks the trash but cannot walk the walk. That is the person that we do not have respect for. So, this is the situation. Now, I'm a person that always say this. Self-inflicted drama is on you. You get no sympathy. Let me say that again, too. Self-inflicted drama. You do not get sympathy. Now, there's been plenty of people to say, yo, you guys are heartless based off the fact this woman has lost her mama. Well, then what I'm going to say to you is there's been plenty of athletes who have lost a parent, went out and performed at the highest level. I mean, should I bring up Michael Jordan? Maybe I'll leave Mike out of this. Mike's the greatest. Maybe we'll leave Mike out of this. But there has been several. But even when people gave you a pass for that, right? Said, okay, you know, your mom died, you smoked weed. Okay, we get it, right? We get it. That's fine. Even me, I was like, yo, you know, I don't think that she should be able to play. I know a lot of people try to use Michael Phelps as a picture, as a way to point out, well, Michael Phelps continued to perform and do his thing. He got caught smoking weed, and people like me are like, Michael Phelps never pissed dirty, and the commission never talked to him about it. Michael Phelps had someone release a picture of him hitting a bong, and he was suspended during off season. Not the same situation. Not in the least. So there goes that scenario out the window. But for me, I like to stay on the bigger topic, because a lot of people said this, and this is where I kind of sit down and say, this is the real point of what's going on. A person on Facebook said this: talking trash also brings criticism. When you do not show and prove, you talk noise to the reigning defending champion in the 100 meters and come up dead last and not expect to get clowned. Very simple. You ran your mouth. You ran your mouth. And now social media is dragging that ass. For me, you get what you deserve. I think a lot of people see themselves in her. I think a lot of people see that she looks like she came from the struggle. She came from the bottom. She climbed her way out, and you want to cheerlead that. And unfortunately, you living vicariously through someone else, you have hitched your wagon to someone who does not have the intestinal fortitude and discipline needed to continue to rise to the top. Now, why would I say this? Well, let's talk about the discipline part. Discipline would have been in full effect to make you know that, yes, I am sad. Yes, I am going through something. My life is not the way I want it, but I will not turn to controlled substances to ease that pain because I have a bigger goal in mind, which is to get my hands on a gold medal. I know that that can hinder me. I will not do it. Discipline. A well-disciplined athlete would have said to themselves, I'm not going to do that because I have a bigger plan in mind. That is the discipline I'm talking about. Now, what are we talking about with intestinal fortitude? When you have intestinal fortitude, you are going to stand on your square. You're not going to run around and talk crazy to people. You're going to prove it every chance you get. That's what you're going to do. A prime example of a person who has a lot of intestinal fortitude is a Barry Sanders, one of the greatest running backs in NFL history, most known for being dignified, never giving up, and always being the proper role model. Let me say that part again. Always being the proper role model. Barry Sanders didn't talk shit. Barry Sanders didn't dance. Barry Sanders did none of those things that go along with the entertainment part of sports. You know when Barry Sanders entertained? When he was on the field. Barry Sanders showed you he was a beast on the field. He needed to do nothing else. And it has been over 20 years and we still discuss this man and his greatness based off of that. Very impressive. So what do I think is going to happen with Miss Richardson moving forward? A lot of people say, hey, yo, she's young. She has time. She has time, Simon. She can make a comeback. Well, what I'm going to say is the fastest person on the planet right now is in Jamaica. What I'm going to say is she's backed up by two other Jamaican women who are just as beastly. When you go 1, 2, and 3 in the Olympics, turn around at the very next event for track and field and do 1, 2, 3 again, that raises eyebrows. When you're paying attention, when you're being honest, it raises eyebrows. Makes you say, oh, they doing their thing. The Jamaican girls ain't over there playing no games. So the question is, in the next 4 years, will she be able to put herself back in a position to go to the Olympics? My answer will be yes. But the question is, will she gain a medal in the Olympics? Because if she doesn't, then it will look like you were a flash in a pan, that people attach themselves to someone they thought was going to be a winner and turned out not to be. But the jury is still out. We still have time. So we can't come to our final conclusion. So I tried my best today to give that breakdown in a way that wasn't really crappy. And believe me, I had said some things to piss people off about her just to see what people were going to say. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, sometimes I do that to see if people are going to attack my point or attack the insult. Because a lot of times I see that people really are moving in their feelings. Because you could be like, you can call men bums, you can't call women bums. You can call men trash, garbage, but you can't say the same thing about women. And it's obvious because I watched a lot of people talk about the fight this weekend, right? There's a fight this weekend, and a lot of people were calling fighters bums. We've done it a long time as well. Like, it's a common thing. Like, you're a bum. Say that about a woman and see what happened. Now, I knew saying that about her was going to ruffle feathers, but I wanted to see how many people were going to attack my point of saying, yo, I mean, prove me wrong, bro. She talked crazy. That's what bums do. You got on national TV and talk crazy to the camera like, yo, I'm the shit still, but you came in last place. That to me is a chicken head move. You got to be a goofy motherfucker to do some shit like that. And every time we've seen a male athlete pull the same type of crap, he has been dogged. Dogged. But for a lot of people, to do that to a woman is just not right. And for me, I'm always looking at it like I thought we were supposed to be striving for equality, right? Doesn't seem that way all the time. Doesn't seem that way. Or that if we're not going to say that we're striving for equality, even though that's what we're told all the time, everybody's equal, everybody deserves the exact same activity until it comes to criticism. And so with Miss Richardson, I think that it has become a battlefield because there are some people who want to treat her like you would treat all other athletes. If you got out here, you said something, you didn't back it up, we dogging you. If we think you look goofy, funny, or strange, we dogging you. You're catching the heat. I always say to people, LeBron James is probably the most criticized NBA player of all time, based on the fact that LeBron James is playing during the height of social media. So we see everything. We see your hairline look like it's moving back and forth. We see when you flopping. We see when it look like you ain't giving a complete effort. We watching all of that, Playboy. That goes for all other athletes, all other entertainers. You are on all the time. There's no like, oh, the game's off, we ain't thinking about you no more. Nah, bro, just coverage of you all day, every day. If somebody's into that, that's what they gonna do. Miss Richardson is finding that out the hard way. I believe that her team, the handlers, the people around her are not doing her a service. I believe that if she doesn't quarantine herself away from social media, it's going to continue to be a problem. I do think that she has the ability to come back, but I don't think that the competition is going to be lesser. I think it's going to be more based on if you are looking currently at how Jamaica is handling their business. It don't look like them girls gonna lay down anytime soon. So, I'm gonna get up out of here. I have been Simon Phoenix. This has been Shots Fired. I appreciate you guys coming through, hanging out with your boy. You already know. If you want to get your question on the show, please email me at shotsfiredpodcastsimon@gmail.com. Again, you can email me at shotsfiredsimon@gmail.com. You can also catch me, Simon Phoenix, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Holla at your boy. Please like, subscribe, and share the show. Those of you who are watching on all other platforms, go check me out on YouTube. The show is there too, and video is coming soon. Finally got the cables in to be able to do that, so that's coming real soon. So again, Shots Fired, Simon Phoenix. Holla at your boy. I'm gone.